growing up, I think it's well established that I was a Nintendo kid, and what that meant was there was always a game that came with the system, whether it be the Nintendo or the Super Nintendo. They came with a game. Both of the games were Mario games, and both Mario games are obviously platformer games. So when I started playing video games, I became very well versed in platformers, and that's what I thought video games were. And then I played The Legend of Zelda, and I really liked it. But it still had that element of, I have my weapon and my ability to take out the enemy in front of me without having to think too much about it. And even though Mario didn't have a weapon, he had fire flowers or could just jump on enemies, and you could press a button, and if you could execute the move, you could take care of the enemy and move on. Zelda was similar in that way, even though the perspective was different. But I really hadn't delved into the world of role-playing games, especially Japanese role-playing games, which was pretty much a foreign concept at the time, until I started spending time up the street at my friend Alan's house. Now, Alan was a great guy. Alan had a basement where his room and his brother's room were, and his brother had a PC, and on the PC he played games like Wolfenstein, and he had the X-Wing and the X-Wing versus TIE Fighter. Those games that I had never heard of or seen before, and they just kind of blew my mind to see for the first time. But Alan was an RPG guy, and he played a lot of role-playing games, and one of the games that I was really blown away by was Final Fantasy III, which was Final Fantasy VI, I guess, in Japan. And so I would go over and watch Alan play Final Fantasy III, and it was amazing. The music, the visuals, the style of the art in the game didn't seem like something that was possible. Completely different from what I was used to from playing Mario World and games of the like. And I would watch Alan, and I would really, really love what he was doing, And so I started kind of dabbling, and I played a little bit, and as hard as I tried, I just could not get to a place where I was comfortable and actually enjoying myself playing those games. And so I wondered what it was about me, Alan eventually got the PlayStation, and of course, with the PlayStation, he got Final Fantasy VII. And, Alan was one of those people that could plan ahead when it came to playing the games. He was thinking about equipment and all the things you need in a role-playing game, especially a Final Fantasy game. And so, he was prepared. He was very well leveled and ready to roll. And so he let me borrow his PlayStation for a little while when Final Fantasy VII came out, which was insane. I mean, I think it was the only game he had for the system, but he literally let me play it. And I remember plugging his PlayStation into the TV in my bedroom at the time and just playing the final battle with Sephiroth. He had the characters leveled and all of the final weapons on all the characters. I just basically had to press the X button, and it just happened for me because there was really no strategy at that point at all, because he had just had them built to perfection. But just looking at it, hearing the music, it was an incredible experience, and it's always been an experience I've wanted to have for myself. And with the exception of a slight few, I have played through some role-playing games. I really still struggle with them. And I think there's a deeper meaning here for me personally. I think I am a platformer in life. I struggle with forward thinking as far as planning things out, writing things down, remembering what's coming next. But I am really good at handling the things that fly at me. And as they come, I can take care of them. But if you tell me that there is somebody coming to observe or to check things out and I need to have a binder ready, if you just told me they were coming to observe, I could handle that, because that's platforming, I can jump over the obstacles, I can run past certain things, and I can really speak well, look the part, and get through things on the spot. The binder is what throws me off. And that is what an RPG is to me. An RPG is like a binder, where you have to keep information, log it, know what each piece is for, which pieces work best with which person, which character you need to build up the most, where to find certain items within the game so that you can be the all-powerful master by the end of it. Getting ahead in life, in a video game, I'm terrible at. And I wonder if I'm terrible at it in real life too. Sure hope not. But I do think there's something there. I ask you in this episode, as I tell this story about how I've always wanted to, I want to be a part of the fantasy worlds and the incredible music, like I said, and the atmosphere that it provides. And I listen to other people on the internet and friends talk, and I watched Alan play, and the experiences just looked so great. So is it just something that I should chalk up to not really being for me? Or is it just getting over maybe a lack of patience playing? Does anybody else out there feel this way about role-playing games? Some of the greatest experiences that people ever tell you about when it comes to video games come from this RPG world, this side of things where, you'll have your diehard platformer players out there that'll play Marios and Sonics and things like that, and that's usually me. But I'm also the type of person too that if I clear a game once, I don't go back to it. And an RPG takes time, effort, thought, going through processes. Is there a way of taking a platformer type of guy like me, both in life and in video games, and transforming into an RPG type of person? The person that can plan ahead, can think strategy. What are your thoughts? I really would like to know, because there's so much stuff out there that I know that I'm missing because I just won't sink my teeth into it long enough. I go to one cave, hit 15 random encounters, get frustrated by the fact that I'm not progressing anywhere, or I can't even explore. I just want to check out all the places, and then I don't mind fighting the battles. The battles don't bother me. I'll go back through and I'll fight for however long. I'll grind as long as I need to grind, but if I'm looking for things, I hate being interrupted. And I know there's other games out there that don't do the random encounter thing, but a lot of the greats do. I want to play Final Fantasy 2 and 3 on the SNES. I want to enjoy those games from start to finish. Am I just impatient? Is this world just not for me? Do you ever feel the way that I do about it? I'd love to hear about it. Such a conundrum to worry about playing certain video games. I really have big issues in life, don't I? Until next time, go nerd yourself.